Well, hello, good people and Eagle fans. Mark Holmes here. And as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day. It is Taco Tuesday. It is actually late. It is pouring down rain outside, and I am ready for my colonoscopy tomorrow. Eating some Jello, popsicles, and chicken broth is all I can have today. And so I'm having one of these. I had a little bit of half a cup of chicken broth today, and I had a popsicle. And I'm pretty much clean as a whistle right now. So anyway, the question we have to ask as we go through here, getting ready for week number 3, it's crazy because the day after tomorrow starts week number 3 with the Miami Dolphins going against the Buffalo Bills. And that might be 0-3 for Miami. Mike McDaniels might be the first coach fired. Just might be. And I'm going to say, remember when that guy was on everybody's radar as the great next head coach because he was a great coordinator? Yeah, I do remember that. But be that as it may, the question I have to ask is, with the Dallas Cowboys and having found a way to win when they definitely weren't playing their best game, do you believe in the Cowboys, or is this just a bad team? And this was the debate today on First Take, and I'm surprised. I did not know this, but Molly Quorum is no longer part of First Take. They couldn't come to a contract resolution, and she's gone after like 10 years. I'm amazed on that one. But anyway, let's listen in on First Take because it's an interesting take.
To the leg of Brandon Aubrey, drilling a 64-yard field goal to send the game into overtime, and another 46-yarder to win it in overtime. The Cowboys defense gave up over 500 yards to the New York Giants, including 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Swagoo, that means I'm coming right to you. Are you feeling encouraged or discouraged by Dallas after their slim win over the G-Men?
I'm discouraged, man, and I want to be so encouraged. I clap because we win, and I'm going to celebrate it every time we win. But to make Russell Wilson look like he was back in Seattle on his way to a Super Bowl blew my mind. And it's just compounding because we know Micah Parsons is in Green Bay. And even in the first game, CC, with Jalen Hurts and when he was taking off, I was like, damn, it would have been nice to have that fast defensive end chasing people down and getting people off the field on third down. My concern is the defense. Offensively, I thought Dallas was going to be one of the better teams in the NFC, but defensively right now, man, it's just it's a bad situation. And I understand Bland wasn't in the game, and it was Kyer Elam, and I think Elam is going to be a good player. I think he was in a tough situation against Malik Neighbors, but to see Russell Wilson have that success against that defense, knowing what you actually have to play to try to get through the NFC and win something that matters, I wasn't very encouraged by that.
What about you, Steve?
Yeah, I was encouraged by the Dallas Cowboys, and it's not with the defense, but it's with the offense.
There you go.
A receiver tandem that is as talented as any receiver tandem in the NFL. And if Dak Prescott is able to stay upright, then you're talking about the Dallas Cowboys being a team that could potentially win double-digit games, regardless. Now, as long as they don't disqualify themselves before the trade deadline, I think that this front office, this ownership group would be willing to make a move and add to that defensive unit. Now, what we've seen for the Dallas Cowboys from a scheduling standpoint, 3 of their next 4 opponents don't have a.
Okay.
So there'll be the potential for them to still be hanging around late October, early November. And I would anticipate if that's the case, Cowboys adding to that defense to try to fortify that unit because their offense gives them a chance to get to the playoffs.
What's their biggest need? What's their biggest need?
Pass rush. They got to get pass rush.
So you're trying to tell me that their biggest need?
I knew it. You walked right into it.
That's what
They
it
gotta
is.
get a pass.
So their biggest need that's hindering them is the one that was fulfilled when they had Micah Parsons and they let the man walk out.
Stephen A., there is no doubt. They moved on from their best player and created a massive hole. They got to fix it. They got to fix it. And Jerry said when he made the Micah Parsons trade that those picks weren't just for future drafts, that they could potentially use those picks to add players this season.
Swagoo, far be it for me to get in your way. Feel free to take the floor and explain.
I agree with CC, but why the hell would I be optimistic that they go do it? Like that my issue lies with historic when people do things over a course of time. At times you got to believe them. And I see the Jadeveon Clowney move. I see the Kenny Clark in the trade. All of that is fine, CC. But at some point, like a generational talent like Micah Parsons, you let go to leverage future picks that you don't know if they're going to work out. Here's the thing, too, and nobody talks about it, and I don't feel comfortable always talking about players. They drafted Mozzie Smith in the first round, and he didn't pan out.
But
yeah.
So what I'm using
Taco Charlton is another one.
Same. I'm using those as examples that them damn first round picks might not mean nothing.
All right, let me transition because we got all year to talk about that because Dallas problems ain't going nowhere. I mean, we
know you gonna talk about them all.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, and I'm gonna mention it. You know, so I'm gonna mention it every now and then. You know, we gotta go to a game together. We're gonna have fun with that. But here's the deal, y'all. I gotta transition to the New York Giants because we saw Russell Wilson. I didn't like that Hail Mary style interception he threw in overtime. Both teams had offensive possessions. You got to protect the football. You got to make sure you don't give that turnover. Second down for crying out loud. You could have done something better than that, but he had faith in his receivers. I just don't like the way he threw it off his back foot and just laid it up there like that. Having said that, he did throw for 450 yards. He did look like the second coming of Dan Marino for crying out loud for most of this game. Should Russ's play change plans for starting Jackson Dart? I'll start with you, Mr. Giant.
No.
I'll leave it right there. But interesting debate. So my question to you is, are you more excited about this team because the way Dak Prescott is playing? Because clearly, I know a lot of people will disagree with this. You know, the haters will. But right now, Dak Prescott, if he stays upright, you got a chance in any game. You went toe for toe with the Super Bowl champions. You can't say that we lost because of Dak. You can say we lost because we got a fumble in the red zone. You can say we lost because we didn't get CeeDee Lamb, had those 4 drops. You can say we lost because Ferguson dropped a touchdown in there. You can say those things. But as long as your quarterback is hitting guys left and right, and you've now brought in some real studs like George Pickens. George Pickens has got 8 catches for what? 108 yards or something like that, and has gotten like 3 pass interference calls, as he tweeted out early today. 98 yards on 8 receptions and 1 touchdown through his first 2 games, and has drawn multiple pass interference, already making an impact. And as he tweeted it, this was Sleeper Sports. Sleeper Cowboys tweeted that. Shout out to Sleeper, of course. We are part of Sleeper. He ended up retweeting it, just getting started. So definitely happy about what I'm seeing with George Pickens. And from what we heard about George Pickens was the one in the huddle calming people down. So as everybody talks about George Pickens and everything else, George has been phenomenal. All righty, good people. As always, I appreciate you guys. My procedure is like 12:30, so I don't know if I'll be back home and of my right mind to go ahead and get a second colonoscopy from the Dan Saleo show. But we'll see. We'll see. All right? Peace out, good people.